Sri Gurubhyo Namaha. JNTUK Final Year ECE, Subject Satellite Communication, Unit number 3, Lecture number 26, 28 May 2021, Friday, Department of ECE, Chebrolu Engineering College, Design of Uplink. Today's session, our discussion starts with Design of Uplinks. Welcome to all participants for this online lecture series. So today PPT presentation has uplink design. So we have better knowledge how to understand the concept which are being uplink design. So let us start the session. So in previous sessions, we got knowledge related to uplink design, how to form link budget. We got knowledge regarding how to understand the various parameters in this satellite link design initially. So at the ending of our third unit, we have uplink design task. So how to understand, how to get the equations, what are the various terminology content available in the uplink design. So as from the literature, so generally this uplink design very easy comparative to our previous downlink design. So why? Because in the downlink design, we have various preliminary tasks like link budget, generation of equations, frequency assignment. So all are the complicated tasks that are having in downlink design. Whereas in uplink design, the work has smarter. So therefore, designing of this uplink is very comfortable, easy than downlink design. So why? Because so we have to maintain accurate specified carrier power that must be available in this satellite transponders, and often a feasible technique is used for high power transmitters at the earth station that can be specified by this particular satellite. So uplink design has goal. Uplink design has significance. So what is the purpose of this uplink design? So everybody know this point, high power transmitters. So for satellite communication theory, high power transmitters designs are nowadays very popular componental configuration. So for such type of high power transmitters require this type of uplink knowledge at the earth stations. So this uplink design has advantage to analyze this TV transmission, which is be available like in both uplink and downlink. Why? Because in practically, so VSAT system has its own antennas called small or smart antennas. Therefore, the transmitter power which is having small, suppose when transmitter power drops to minimum 5 watts, so low uplink EIRP is the feasible condition in this satellite communication. So we have familiar knowledge on this EIRP. So therefore, satellite telephone handsets are restricted to on this transmitted at power. So therefore, 1/2 watt, because of this magnetical radiation hazards are improved in the satellite communications. So therefore, a concentration and more important point here we have to note down in this uplink designing, so that transmitter power levels we have to monitor. Transmitted power levels we have to calculated for each transponder. And apart from satellite communication, in mobile communication or mobile communication theory, the mobile system links are generated for this satellite operation. So why? Because in majority of the satellite uplink design tasks, we have a opportunity to send the data with the smallest carrier to noise ratio. So that type of problem, so that type of feasibility is, however, implemented in this uplink design. So this slide indicates the significance of this uplink design. Another point here I have to mention, cost of transmitter tends to be high compared with the cost of receiver equipment. So this is the budget allocation, budget related point, that is transmitters has very cost effective in various companies. So therefore, effective cost of this transmitter earth stations are quietly large or high comparative to our receiver equipment. So therefore, in satellite communication, various satellite bands are developed by FCC, so Federal Committee. So with respect to those guidelines, in satellite communication, there is very large growth happening, large growth arrived to meet the point to point transmission. So nowadays, so wireless communication, point to point communication, transmission, very sophisticated applications in the satellite communications. So apart this uplink design knowledge may also has application in cable TV, similarly DBS TV transmission. So why? Because high power earth stations provides service through this satellite communication to many low cost receivers. Therefore, high cost of transmitting stations are only a small part of the total network cost. So nothing but while establishing this satellite communication links, so there are several points we have to notice. Due to this phenomena, the highest power gateway mechanisms are regularly implemented and monitored in the low cost budgets. Next slide. In this slide, I able to explain what are the brief fundamental literature done on this uplink designing conditions. So in olden days, the satellite transponders configuration in the laboratory or somewhere, they have some bent pipe structure. So generally they termed as bent pipe structure. So satellite bent pipe transponder structure has quasi-linear amplifiers. So in satellite transponders, in componental level, they used these amplifiers which are being quasi-linear family. So why? Because in the uplink designing formation, to meet low CNR, these quasi-linear amplifiers are gives better quality on output signal, which are able to control the noise as well as which are be used for attain good bandwidth also. Similarly, the receiver carrier level that we have to estimate the uplink frequency, that receiver level may also evaluate the output quality or level, output level. So therefore receiver signal determines this uplink frequency value where our output levels are defined or predefined. So to meet this type of requirements, in olden days, traveling wave tubes are used for output high power amplifiers component in the transponder section of this satellite communication. So in microwave engineering, we has traveling wave tube theory. So at those explanation, we cross how this traveling wave tubes are implemented in satellite, mobile, cellular applications, especially in the satellite with respect to transponder structures. This high power amplifiers embedded by traveling wave tubes. So generally in a normal short answer, we are expecting what is the significance of this uplink design. So we have to cover, indicate all these prescribed points in our examinations. Similarly, while designing the transponders, often what type of the access system we have to implement it. Somebody say we have CDMA, TDMA, FDMA. So out of them, this transponder designing criteria follows FDMA technique for better understanding on these levels. So therefore, high power amplifiers be used to avoid back off time period, and also this high power amplifier controls intermodulation product limitations which are appear at the receiver output level. So this traveling wave tubes incorporated with high power amplifiers combinedly used to control the intermodulation effects in the receiver output signal. Generally, in our previous link budget, we familiar about this back off period. So generally this back off period controlling level can be explained in terms of the decibels format. So generally output back off can be controlled by a minimum 1 to 3 dB when more than of one signal is able to present in the system. So again, that can be utilized especially in the transponder section. So therefore, identification, formation, determination of this uplink carrier power levels are very much important, and uplink designing task has also been very good, crucial while designing the satellite communication system. Now come to third point. Here I mentioned accurate control of the power transmission by the earth station is essential. So as we all know that what is the significance of this earth station while developing or transferring this level. So that is the power transmitted by the earth station is also essential So therefore, the fixed network earth constructions are very, very important while we are able to meet this earth stations problems in the required theory. So another information here, very large number of earth station access are be required for the single transponder using this FDMA. So majority of the transponders require this very large earth station accessing grant. So earth stations as limited by these transponders. Therefore, this VSAT networks has uh, probably to get the transponder output back off by 5 to 7 dB, which are be maintained in intermodulation products, which are be sufficiently at low level, even a single access that should be gotten by the transponder. So these are the main scenarios while applicable for uplink design. So therefore, the majority of the information and the majority of the important designing required while designing of the transponders, similarly at the output of the receiver level. So in the next slide, I implemented some at the station transmitted power that should be able to get this transponder to a maximum level. So power levels are very important while calculating this station transmitted power. So for each transponder, so station transmitted power is set by this power level. So therefore automatically this can be done by following two ways. How to estimate the transmitted power set by the transponder. Here we have two ways of literature. So number one is the another way to maintain here a specific flux density. So a specific flux density is required at the satellite, or a specific power level is required at the input of the transponder. So these are the two techniques generally followed in the transponders. So in the each earth station, we have to set this power in two ways. So number one equals to here so specific flux density. So we have flux density. So that is very important for the satellite communication, and specific power level. So we have to maintain proper specific power level that should be required at the input of this transponder. So therefore, in previous C-band satellites are required high flux density to saturate their transponders. So C-band satellites, which are be helpful for maintaining of these values. So earliest we have the C-band highest flux densities, which are be used for satellite transponders. So generally the range should here I mentioned minus 73.7 to minus 67.5. So therefore, highest flux density has uh, significance on this uplink design, that large earth station and powerful transmitters generators are established to send this power up to 3 kilowatt. So therefore, domestic GEO satellites generally require lower flux densities, so which are be allowing small earth station and particularly small earth station antennas. So at C-band, a typical uplink earth station transmitters, which is having maximum 1000 watts. So generally they will use approximately the antenna apertures 90 meter to maximum flux density of 1000 dBW. So another important information regarding uplink design, this flux density around the particular satellite system is a convenient way to determine the earth station transmitted EIRP requirement. So EIRP is a very important parameter while designing our uplink as well as link budget. So in that EIRP equation, we have gain, transmitted power, receiver power. Therefore, a link equation may also be used to make this calculation for a specified transponders, so that are required for this channel to noise, carrier to noise ratio. So when this carrier to noise ratio is specified by the transponder, so the calculation of this required transmitter power is first we wanted to notice. So whenever transmitted power is available, automatically we have to set this carrier to noise ratio to a specified level. Similarly, noise bandwidth as well as bandwidth of the IF stage, the earth station receivers which are be used for this uplink signal, that should be intended by the corresponding values. So here I mentioned some basic equations regarding uplink design. So number one, so that equals to here noise power that are represented by the transponder. So here we have noise power equation. So NXP noise power equals to constant. So system noise temperature of transponder bandwidth, so that are available in dBW. So now next equation, what is the power received at the input of the transponder? So what is the power equation for this input of the particular transponder? So first we wanted to know what are the contributors available in the particular this one. So the contributors are here. So PT, GT, GR minus LP, LUP. So here summation of transmitted power and gain in the uplink earth station EIRP. So that should be available here in dBW. Clear? So therefore, carrier to noise ratio for the uplink can be explained by equation number 3 here. This is the uplink equation for carrier to noise ratio. Simply CNR for uplink equals to 10 logarithmic of PR divided by KTSB in. that equal to P or XP minus NXP that are available for decibels. So this is the CNR. So the earth station transmitted power. The earth station transmitted power. Up to now, we got receiver power of particular transmitter as well as this noise. So from this, by using equation number 2 and equation number 3, so by substituting, we got updated equation from equation number 2 that equal to PRXP equals to noise plus channel to noise ratio, that is uplink. So similarly, finally for our today discussion, so final expression for this PARP can be explained here by equation number 5. So that is PIRP equals to satellite power plus noise output back off, and G is the gain, and P the saturated power output of the transponder. So in this way, so uplink designs are be formed for the respective of the transponders. So thank you for everyone watching this online lecture series. Thank you for your attendance. Thank you one and all.